For the technology assignment for lesson 2, we are looking at making a bar graph. And we're going to first find an example of a bar graph online. So we're going to Google anything you like. So let's say that you like the show Game of Thrones. I'm going to type that in. Just into Google. And let's say that I want to attach to that a bar graph. So I'm going to look for a bar graph. Alright, and then I recommend clicking on images. Okay, and I'm looking for a really simple bar graph, nothing too crazy. Okay, looking for something simple, and what we're going to do is we're going to pick one and we're going to reproduce it in Excel. So I'm going to pick the simplest one here. Alright, and I'm going to visit the page. Alright, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to look for that bar graph on that page. There's a picture somewhere. Here we go. And here we have a bar graph that represents, and it says, I'm going to read a little bit around it to kind of find some context here. This is the chapters of the book that are told from the perspective of these characters in the Game of Thrones books. So I want to reproduce this in Excel. Alright, so I'm going to minimize this a little bit. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the link. So when I select all of that, I'm going to copy it and I'm going to put it into my Excel document. So I'm going to open Excel, choose a new document, and I'm going to click paste into that first cell. And I want you to do that so I can see where you got your original bar graph from. Okay, so don't choose this one. I want you to choose a different one and just Google it, something you like, any kind of show you like, or cats or dogs, anything like that. Okay, don't do this one. You can do anything but this one. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to type in on the left-hand side. I'm going to type in the names of each of the columns. Okay. All right, in the next column, I'm going to put in the chapters. So right here are the number of chapters that these characters are featured in. So I am going to look at the graph here, and I can tell that each one of these is represented by a scale of 2. So there's a scaling of 2, and it starts at 0. So each one goes up by 2, so if I'm stuck halfway in between, then Will would be 1 chapter. Bran is halfway between 6 and 8, so we'll say 7. Caitlin is in between 12 and 10, so we'll say 11. The next character is right at 10. And then 15. And John is 9. The next character we have 5. And the next character we have 9 chapters. And the last character has 6 chapters. Alright, so we're going to look at the information in the bar graph and then we're going to put it into Excel. So categories on the left and then the numbers for each of those categories on the right. And I'm going to highlight all of this information and I'm going to select Insert, and then I'm going to select a graph. And I'm going to do a bar graph, and in Excel it's called a column chart. So I'm going to insert a column chart, and I'm going to select a simple 2D chart. Alright. It looks pretty similar to what they have here, and I'm guessing they probably used Excel to actually make that graph. So I'm going to change my chart title, so I'm going to click on chart title, and I'm going to reproduce what we have there. So I'm going to call it Game of Thrones chapters. Now we're going to save it, and I recommend once again saving it to your desktop or somewhere where you can have easy access to that. Title it whatever you want to title it. And save it, and then upload it to D2L.